They've been targeting Peter Obi since after the last presidential election because he won Lagos. But what they did this time is unbelievable. You can imagine destroying his brother's property without allowing him take out even a pin. So guys, this is really so bad for a country that is looking for investors. Now just take a look at what Peter Obi said and how Aisha Yesufu has reacted to this. Take a look.
You can see things that are here. Nobody could remove anything. Is that how I come to work? They just came suddenly, started demolition. You know, if my brother didn't have a brother like me, they would. He wanted to enter here. They say, no, you can't enter. We have got injunction. What about court injunction that allows somebody to enter into another person's property? They treat him for removing his things and everything and demolishing everywhere. What about court injunction is that? We are finished in the country.
Hello everyone. This case that I'm just going to talk about, is it really a case of lawlessness or intimidation? For me, that's just the way I'm looking at it. I just came. I was actually supposed to do another video, and then I saw this tweet that Mr. Peter Obi had put out, and he's talking about the fact that his brother's house was being demolished, a property that he owned, and the brother called him that he had to go in there. But it's a whole lot of drama. Let me start from the beginning. Let's just go through it, because I just started reading. I'm like, what is really, what is really going on? So Mr. Peter Obi started the tweet by saying that any society where lawlessness overrides the rule of law is not destined to be a heaven for investors. Recent reports showing that Nigeria's human rights indicators have worsened merely highlight severe shortfalls in government protection for civil liberties, personal security, and basic living standard. I know what I've been going through as a person in abuse of my human rights just because I contested a presidential election, which I have legitimate rights to do. And so that's one thing that many people don't see. And so when I see people talking about Mr. Peter Obi not having courage, or do you think it always? I'm looking at that. Like, what do you people think is courage? You think it's to be shouting or to ask people to go and do the things that you will not do? That's what people think is courage. There are people who will sit there and say, "Oh, people should do this for me. People are supposed to do this. Be on the street," but they will not be on the street. They need courage in Nigeria to stand against, government and speak consistently. It's not an easy thing, and not many people can do it. And he has done it, and a lot of things have been done against him, his family, or whatever. He keeps quiet, he keeps going, and he stays strong. So he says, so I imagine what small business owners, regular citizens, and vulnerable communities face every year. If this level of lawlessness can happen to someone with a registered company and legitimate means, what hope does the ordinary Nigerian have? And Mr. Peter Obi continued by saying, this morning, my youngest brother called me frantically, informing me that a group of people have invaded his company property in Ikeja, Lagos, and were demolishing the building. He had just come in from Port Harcourt and was denied entry to the property by security men who told him the building was being pulled down. And let me even first of all stop here to say the rate at which, especially in Lagos, is so easy for buildings to be pulled down. I just don't even know. Even in Abuja here, it happened a lot, even though I've not heard some of those things, in recent time. This is a country where, first of all, we have a huge shortage of housing. And you know how expensive it is to build. Nigeria, so you build, it's your money you are using to build. But government finds it so easy to destroy, to demolish things that they cannot build. And then sometimes you find that they will demolish it and then carry the land and hand it over to their cronies. That's one of the things that Wiki has been accused of doing here in Abuja. And you're wondering, even if you say some people didn't get certain land illegally or whatever, as long as it's not a major environmental threat or something, you can do that paper. Find them. Even if you say they've done wrongly, give them a fine, redo those papers, let them pay whatever it is. And then those houses are there. You destroy these houses, you're not going to bring back another house to replace it. Even if you're going to do it, that house that would have been brought by there, build it in another place. Because the house that you've destroyed, you're not going to get it back and use it somewhere, somewhere else again. He said, okay, he had just come in. They even informed him that this demolition has started over the weekend. As a peace-loving Nigeria, he quickly started processing to go to court immediately, not knowing what must have resulted in this, as they moved fast to destroy the home without any restraint. I rushed to Lagos from Abuja after the call this morning and I headed straight to the property. On arrival, I was met by security people who tried to bar me from entering the property. I humbly pleaded with them that the property belonged to my brother's company, and from the records, the company had owned the property for over a decade. They told me they had a court judgment, and I immediately requested it. You will not believe that the court judgment they claim was issued against an unknown person and squatters. I went further to ask about a demolition order or permit, and there was none. Can you imagine? There was none of that. But you could hit your chest and just begin to destroy. All you needed to do, bring some security personnel. That is it. The next thing, they will collect that land and they will issue it to whoever they want to issue it among themselves. And they own a land that they ordinarily do not own. How do you sue an unknown person? How does a court issue a judgment in such a farce of a case? No one was served. No name was written. Yet, they showed up with excavators and began destroying a structure that has stood for over 15 years. I immediately asked the excavators for the person who had sent them, and they said they didn't know anyone. Can you imagine? They were only informed to come and demolish the house. I immediately told them to tell whoever is it that I would like to speak with them if they can call my number, which I share with the excavator, so that I can speak with whoever gave them the order to demolish the property. I stood there from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. waiting to get a call at least, and nobody called or came. The contractor even said he didn't know who sent him. Really? 2 men later came and said they would like us to go to a police station. I asked if they even had a demolition order, but they had nothing. The whole situation screamed of coordinated lawlessness and impunity. Our country has become lawless. I just started reminiscing about how just over the weekend I had a meeting when someone told me how he had investments in Ghana, Senegal, and the Benin Republic, but won't touch Nigeria, despite his market being here. I asked him why. His answer was piercing. Nigeria is a lawless country. Until we have laws that protect people, nobody will invest in Nigeria. I'm just shocked. How did Nigeria get to this level of lawlessness? What kind of a country are we trying to build when the rights of citizens, their lives, their properties, and their voices are trampled upon daily? I remain committed to a better Nigeria where lawlessness will be a thing of the past, protection of life and property, respect for human rights, care for the less privileged, and basic education for all children. A new Nigeria is possible. For me, I think this screams more of intimidation than even the lawlessness. Yes, there's lawlessness in Nigeria, but is it really just this was done, or because he happens to be Peter Obi's brother? Or now they begin to go everyone and everybody that is either related to Peter Obi, supports Peter Obi, stands with Peter Obi, or with Peter Obi. These are some of the things that we have to begin to ask. There are a whole lot of things that will be done. And for me, what I would say to everyone is, let's tighten our belts. The only way that they can intimidate us if we refuse to look fair in the eye and say, bring it on.
Oh, good.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah?
Okay, sir. Thank you. Let's go.
Just yesterday, just on Sunday, I came back from the US, and my younger brother told me an agency wants to see me, and I saw him yesterday on my way to Abuja. he said to me that the land, the company land, Nest Food Limited, the land they own for over 10 years, probably over 15 years, belonging to them, that some people just jumped into it and said they are the owner, that they have got injunction, and that they are about to start demolition it. I said, okay, we'll go to court. That they won't demolish it without having proper documentation and everything. But yesterday evening, he called me, said they removed the roof. They brought 3 tractors, 2,000, demolition everywhere as fast as they can. And I said, no, I'll leave Abuja this morning. Let me go there personally. He said all effort for them to enter there, they've been refused to even enter. And they've chased out the people who are living there. So there's nothing they can do. That's how I came from Abuja with first flight this morning from Abuja. Drove to this place, asked the people, who authorized it to demolish? They said they have cut injunction. That the owner gave them. I said, who is the owner? They said they don't know the owner. They just gave them. I said, who is the owner? They said they don't know the owner. Can I see the cut injunction and see who the owner is, the person who is now claiming his shield? They gave me the cut injunction. The cut injunction explicitly said, unknown person. How can you sue an unknown person? I said the land belongs to you. A land with property. And within yesterday and today, it's demolishing property. Look at it. They've removed the roof, they removed the thing. Okay, give me your proper documentation, demolition orders, because even if you want to demolish the house, you go to the state, they give you order to demolish, give you appropriate documentation, bring safety people and them, so that we know we're doing what is now. It's only while I'm here now that some people came and said they are safety orders. What kind of country is this? How do you descend to this level of rascality? How can you show a non person enter somebody's land and everything? I've been here for 4 hours. I've not seen one person who comes and says, I'm the owner. 3 people or 2 or 3 people have appeared. Are you the owner? No, I'm not. But I'm acting on behalf. I said, so who is the owner? No name. They've not called the name. I said, but you know my name. I'm Peter Obi. I want to know the next person. So I can even approach him and say, please, this land belongs to a company that my brother is the majority shareholder. The country can't go on like this. We're looking for foreign investors. We're looking for investors. But look at how local investors are being treated. Is that how a country can thrive? This level of lawlessness, this level of rascality.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
You can see the equipment that are here. You can see things that are here. Nobody could remove anything. Is that how I come to work? They just came suddenly, started demolition. You know, if my brother didn't have a brother like me, they would. He wanted to enter here. They say, no, you can't enter. We have got injunction. What about got injunction that allows somebody to enter into another person's property, refusing for removing his things and everything, and demolishing everywhere? What about got injunction is that? We are finished with the country.
So guys, for a country that is looking for investors, they've been targeting Mr. Peter Obi since after the presidential election because he won Lagos. But what they did this time is unbelievable. You can imagine demolishing his younger brother's property without allowing him take out a pin. So guys, I'm just wondering when Nigeria is going to start getting things right. I mean, there is no rule of law in this country. Even though these politicians, specialize in stealing the little resources Nigeria has, that is not enough for them. Even rule of law is not allowed to thrive in this country. At least if they are embezzling all the money, they should just allow the citizens to have rule of law. You came to demolish a place, you have no warrant, you have no court order, you have no, even nobody presented himself as the owner of the property. Nobody presented himself as the one who gave the go-ahead to demolish. Nobody is claiming a right of ownership of that property. Nobody has come forward to say we demolished it. Nobody has come forward to say, okay, this is the reason. The man, the owner of the house was not even given pre-notice. He was not allowed to take out a pin. No, Nigerians, what is this? Is it... Where is democracy? Because Peter Obi belongs to the opposition. Because Peter Obi still has his strong support base. Because Nigerians are in love with Peter Obi. That's his only crime. For a man who does not influence people to support him. For a man who does not spend any more. Look at APC and the rest of them. For every little protest you see people doing, they are being paid. For every support group you see putting out any information out there, they are being given money. They know that Peter Obi does not spend any dime to gain the kind of support he has. So after targeting him, Peter Obi has once come out to lament on how since after the election, they were targeting him, his family and all those. And we were thinking that maybe all those things have come down. But you can see that, honestly, for you to get into somebody's property, you did not allow the person to even take out a pin. You decide to demolish, brought down the entire building. And it's a business building. That means that business pays tax. For a tax-paying business to be demolished like this, I'm just wondering where we are heading to as a country. Because, see, I can't just believe what I'm seeing, you know. This country, they are just making life so miserable. People outside the country are watching. Tomorrow, they will tell us investors are not coming. They are going to France to look for people to come and invest. Like Peter Obi will always say, this is like a honey and bee relationship. Fix the country. We have millions of Nigerians outside the country. There's no Nigeria who is not interested in, you know, investing back home. It's just because of the politics involved. Make it investable. People will come and invest in Nigeria. But these politicians, they will be hunting on people because they are their opponents. I think this should stop, honestly. This should stop. And they should better come and explain to Nigerians why they targeted Peter Obi's younger brother's property. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell. Thank you.